Hello, everyone. This is Tim the Talent. I'm sitting here with Case Dog, and we are them dudes over there. You know, it's been a while, but we getting right back to it. As a matter of fact, my boy getting an oil change right now, and I said, you know what? Let's talk to the people because it's been a long time. Man, say something to the people, Casey.
Yeah, man, what's going on, people? We back at it, man. We about to be consistent and all that, Mr. Consistency in here.
Yeah, and I just wanted to talk about what I call the Bengal Bias. So we're going to start right off with the first podcast, talking about the Bengal Bias, because there are a lot of undefeated teams. As you know, Cincinnati is 2-0. You know, they're off to a hot start. And, oh, look, that's some of our groups sending us instant messages right now about the 2-0 start, you know. So we're going to go ahead and turn that down. We'll get to them later. But, yeah, the Bengals are 2-0. The Steelers are like, what, 0-1-1? I mean, they got a 1.5 game hole. Tied with the Browns, which that's not a good deal. The Ravens had a chance to get a stronghold on the division. They lost to the Bengals in epic fashion on Thursday Night Football. And the Browns, well, they're the Browns. I mean, until they get that kicking game fixed, I mean, it's going to be hard for them to win, you know? So I think the Browns could potentially be playing for second place, you know? And the Bengals could be first place, which it could be an all-Ohio division. But, Casey, this is my issue right now. I mean, they're talking about Tampa Bay, who's 2-0, rightfully so, with Fitzmagic. You know, we'll see what they're about. If they can beat the Steelers, that'd be great. The Rams, they deserve to be talked about. The Cowboys, yeah, they're 1-1. Forget them. Jaguars, they're 2-0. You know, they beat the Patriots, but I kind of question how good the Patriots really are. You know, I don't know if they're really that good. I mean, they have nobody at receiver right now, except for, but they did pick up Josh Gordon, though. So people are hoping that he can be like Randy Moss and less like Josh Gordon for Cleveland. You know, yeah. And the Dolphins are 2-0. People are raving about the Dolphins. Yeah, the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are high-powered offense, no defense. But, you know, hey, but they're getting it done. Oh, the Broncos is the team that's getting rave reviews for their 2-0 start.
Who was their quarterback?
The dude who used to play for Minnesota, Chase Keenum.
Oh, okay. Is
their quarterback. He's not better than Andy Dalton at all, but, you know, people always talk about, oh, look at the quarterbacks. Look at the quarterbacks. That's how you can tell how successful they're going to be. So I'm looking at the quarterbacks of some of these 2-0 teams. Blake Bortles, is he better than Dalton? No, not really. Fitzpatrick? No, he's not. So when you look at some of these 2-0 teams, Ryan Tannehill? No.
Who?
Ryan Tannehill for the Dolphins.
Oh, I know.
You know, no, he's not better. And even Mahomes, I mean, he's got superstar potential, but has he actually proven anything yet? For real, for real? He's had a hot 2 games. That's nice. Just so everyone remembered, Cam Newton had a very hot 2 games coming out his first 2 starts. Kind of like Mahomes looked. And we know people's opinions on Cam Newton now. He's still a great player, but they don't respect his ability as a passer the way they should.
Yeah.
So there's that. So when I'm looking around these undefeated teams, Andy Dalton is like, oh, yeah. Should I even mention old boy from the Jaguars? Their quarterback, Blake Bortles? No. Andy Dalton's been the most consistent quarterback out of the 2-0 teams. You know. Now, there are some undefeated teams like the Vikings and the Packers. Now, Aaron Rodgers, but he's not 2-0. He's 1-0-1. So, but, you know, the Packers, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, that 1-0-1, I would say that's sustainable. You know, yeah, the Packers are legit.
Yeah.
But everybody else, if you had to question 2-0 teams, the Bengals would be the least one with the questions. But because of their history in the playoffs, which has nothing to do with the regular season, which is what we're talking about, they think the Bengals are the most suspect. If anything, the Bengals have shown you that in the regular season, they're going to get it done. They're the most legit regular season team you're going to find out of this list.
Yeah.
You know, but, man, what you think, Casey, man?
Well, it's the stigma that comes with the Bengals. That's what it is. That's why we don't get talked about. We're not a very big market, so it's like, okay, it's just Cincinnati. We don't really need to cover them because we know they're going to probably choke.
See, Case Dog is so bored with this topic, he's yawning at it. He's yawning at it. It's just ridiculous.
They'll choke in the playoffs or whatever, so it's just like, I guess teams and just the analysts just Cincinnati as a whole just doesn't get any respect. No matter what the sport is, it could be basketball, baseball, football. We get no respect no matter what it is. So, like, basically, I kind of expect this to happen personally. Like, I don't expect to get a lot of coverage because, like, we don't start getting coverage until we, like...
Get to the playoffs.
Either that or we at least 8-0 or something like that where, like, we're undefeated for a while. Then we get talked about. But, like, they'll rather sit here and talk about...
the Steelers, winless.
The winless Steelers, Le'Veon Bell still ain't showed up. Antonio Brown didn't show up to practice for personal reasons or whatever the case may be. They rather talk about stuff like that because...
He's a whiny baby.
I mean, all wide receivers are, let's be honest.
No, not all. Not all.
Well, not all, but it's a good majority of them that's prima donna.
They haven't won a game in 2 games, and they're already falling apart. Just like their fan base.
Sucks to be a Steelers fan.
They wouldn't survive the 90s Bengals run. They're crumbling after 2 games. And we know they're going to rebound eventually. Like, we do know that. They'll at least finish 8-8. You know, they'll rebound.
Well, the thing is that's going to be interesting is I think for the next few years it is going to be an Ohio battle for the top spot. Because, I mean, right now, Baltimore can't do anything because they're overpaying Flacco. So they can't even, like, get any relevant good players for real because they paying Flacco way too much money. So once they get rid of him and be able to get more players in there and keep RG3 and Lamar Jackson, that'll be a good tandem right there because you won't need to change your offense because they're the same player. So,
that's true. That's true.
And then Pittsburgh, once Roethlisberger retires, it's pretty much a wrap for them because they haven't found his predecessor yet, and the people that they have drafted to like kind of mentor under him haven't worked out. Like Landry Jones didn't work out.
They did get Rudolph in the 4th round this year. He may end up being good, but with Big Ben not wanting to take him under his wing and mentor him, I don't know how good he's going to be.
Exactly.
See, if Big Ben was like taking him under his wing and embracing him, and you know, kind of how John Kitna did with Carson Palmer, you know, and then be in his corner, like, yeah.
John Kitna was ass anyway. So
yeah, but you know what? But he actually had a decent year. He, you know, the year Palmer was backing him up, he had his best year as a pro, and he was a good mentor to Carson Palmer. Like, Palmer was way more talented, but Kitna was able to show him, you know, the ins and outs of the game, how to prepare as a pro. You know, those things are important. That's why successful franchises have those guys in place. So when young dudes come in, they're going to succeed. You know, which is why John Ross is set up to succeed because he's a 1st-round pick, but he's not immediately expected to be the guy. He gets to follow and watch a guy like A.J. Green.
Yeah.
You know, and now back to the Bengal bias. It's weird because in the regular season, the Bengals have proven themselves time and time again. People forget the Bengals were division champions in 2013. They beat out the Steelers in 2013. They also beat out the Steelers for the division championship in 2015. You know, so that means during their playoff run, 2 out of the 5 times, they made the playoffs as, you know, the AFC North champions. And there was one other time where the Bengals played, it might have been, I want to say it's like either 2012 or 2013. No, it might have been 2012. They were playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And the winner of that game goes to the playoffs. And the Bengals won that game. You know, and a lot of people don't know that. It's like, yeah, Andy Dalton outdueled Big Ben to get to the playoffs. Now, granted, I understand all the playoff arguments. Hey, they haven't won a game, but to question them in the regular season is ridiculous. The Bengals are like Peyton Manning before he won the Super Bowl. I mean, seriously, Peyton Manning was good in the regular season. It was his playoff performances that sucked. But regular season Peyton Manning would get it done. There's no reason to question regular season Peyton Manning. And there's no reason to question regular season Bengals. They'll show you right out the gate if they're good or if they're bad. Like last year, they were historically bad, at least in the first 2 games. They showed you right away they were not going to compete for the AFC North. Right. This year, they're showing you right away they have depth at defense. They can rush the passer. They got weapons all over the place, and they're willing to pass to the weapons. Mixon could be a superstar. And Gio, you know, he's not exactly chopped liver either. You know what I mean? But what's your final thoughts, Casey, man? Because we're going to have to wrap this up.
End of the day, we just don't get the respect we deserve. But you know what? We'll get it. We win games. We're going to make a playoff run this year. And we're going to show people, put up or shut up at this point. I mean, we can't keep making the playoffs and not winning the games. So, I mean, it's only nothing but up from here. I mean, the team keeps getting better. Like, it's not like we took a step back and went back to the Corey Dillon days. And another thing I want to touch on before we end this too is I'm tired of these fans saying they want Marvin Lewis gone. If we get rid of Marvin, who is we gonna get to come in to replace him?
Urban Meyer.
Yeah, right. Some bum coach. So then we can all back to the Corey Dillon days of winning 2-3 games and just having one really good player and the rest of the team sucks. Is that what people? That's what y'all really want to go through again? Because personally, I don't. Because I went through that most of my childhood of them being trash.
Well, some people want change just for the sake of change.
Well, okay, let's look at the Cincinnati Reds. Y'all got what y'all wanted there, and now they suck.
True. Dusty Baker would at least get them to the playoffs. That's true.
He at least deserved one more year before they exploded that whole team.
But that's how we do in Cincinnati, and that's why fans around the league don't trust Cincinnati sports. The Bengals are a good team. They got a tough schedule, so I understand why people don't buy into it. But Pittsburgh, Ravens, and Cleveland has to play that same tough schedule. So somebody out of that 4 will go to the playoffs. Even if they finish 7-9, somebody out of those 4 teams will make it to the playoffs. And my bet is on the Bengals right now. So let us know what you think. Do you really think there's a Bengal bias? Do you just don't trust the Bengals regardless of what they show on tape? Let us know. Get in the comments. You can hit us up at them dudes over there on Facebook. We're going to set up an Instagram for you guys as well so we can chop it up and just have a chat. All right, you guys be safe. We out.
Peace.